When I planned this lecture and the course, I first thought I should do it the traditional way of starting very simple and maybe give a crash introduction into Haskell, then do some simple Plutus contracts and slowly add more complicated stuff. But then I decided it would be more interesting, especially for the first lecture, to showcase a more interesting contract and just demonstrate what Plutus can do, and then use that to look at certain concepts in more detail and explain them in more detail. So the code for this course will be in this GitHub repository. It's at input output HK and then Plutus Pioneer program. So I have a local clone of this repository, and the code for week 1 is in the subfolder code/week1. And in order to build this, the most reliable way is to use Nix. And for that, we need the right dependency of the Plutus repository. And that one is mentioned in the Cabal project file. So we see here in this folder, there's this Cabal project file. And if we look at that, then here, this is the reference to the Plutus repository. Here you also can see the address on GitHub. So it's input minus output minus HK/Plutus. And this is the tag we're using for the code this week. So this will change during the duration of the course because Plutus is still under development. So stuff is permanently changed, and I try to keep the lectures as up to date as possible. So probably every week I will change this dependency. So once we have this, we can go to the Plutus folder. So I also have that locally, a clone of the Plutus repository. And there we must make sure that we have the right hash. So we can, for example, do a git log. And then this commit hash here must be the one that's mentioned in the Cabal project file. If not, we have to use git checkout with that hash from the Cabal project file. And then we start a Nix shell. I already did this, so I won't execute this now. So I'm already in a Nix shell. But in this Plutus repository folder, we have to start a Nix shell. And when you do that for the first time, it can take quite a while. And you should also consult the README of the Plutus repository, how to configure Nix, because you have to use the appropriate caches so that you don't have to build everything by yourself, but can reuse the cached content. Then it's much faster. Otherwise, it might take hours. So once you have this Nix shell, you can then go back to the Plutus Pioneer program repo, to the appropriate week, and then build the code with Cabal build. And this will also take a while the first time you do it. I did it before, so in that case it's instantaneous, but the first time will take quite some time. So you need some patience. But that's the most reliable way to do it and to build the code that's accompanying this course.